fought the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
Well, folks, if you wonder why the PS5 dominated Black Friday over the Switch 2, well, it's simple. It's the value. But before I get into it, please hit the like button and the hype button as well. It really helps out small channels like mine to be able to stand up to greedy corporations and the toxic influencers who try to convince everyone that this is all totally normal and totally fine when it's absolutely not. Because what we just witnessed over Black Friday was a reality check. A slap right to the face of a company that has been coasting on nostalgia and arrogance instead of delivering the value gamers expect in 2025. And the craziest part is Nintendo fans are scrambling around like, wait, how did this happen? When the answer is literally right there on the price tag, staring them in the face at every GameStop, Walmart, and Target in the country. You walk into a store, you go to the Switch 2 section, what do you see? Boom, $80 slapped on 4 different games. And you just know more are on the way. Mario Kart World, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Party Jamboree, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land, $80 each. Think about that, $80 for a Mario Party game, $80 for a Kirby game that came out on the Switch 1 not long ago. Yes, it does have a little bit of DLC to add to it, but not $80 worth. Every one of these games came from a generation that barely left 1080p. These aren't technical marvels requiring absurd development budgets. They aren't pushing next-gen power. They aren't graphically showcased that melts your eyes with detail. But Nintendo just decided out of nowhere, hey yeah, these are 80 now. No explanation, no justification, just pay up or get out. That's the Switch 2 experience right now. Now you shift your eyes over to the PS5 shelf. You see the price cuts, the massive bundles, $350, $400 console deals, massive games like Spider-Man, Final Fantasy XVI, and God of War Ragnarok for a decent price, multiple award-winning titles marked down to $29, $39, $49. Consumers aren't stupid. They see 2 shelves sitting there 3 feet apart. One shelf is saying buy a 5-year-old console with a massive discounted library and great sale price. The other is say buy the newest console with overpriced games that barely look different from the last system. It doesn't take a genius to see where the carts are rolling. Nintendo thought they could carry themselves across the finish line on hype. They believed the Switch 2 would automatically dominate because the Switch 1 did. They thought people would walk into a store, see that it's a shiny and new, and throw their wallets at it without asking questions. But when shoppers saw that the price tag for the console and then they saw the $80 tags hanging out there like a neon hazard sign, they hesitated. Families hesitated. The casual crowd hesitated. Even the fans hesitated. People actually stopped and said, wait, what am I paying for again? The hesitation cost Nintendo the single most important shopping weekend of the year. The PS5, meanwhile, did exactly what winners do. It showed up with irresistible deals. It showed up with strong software. It showed up with better performance and legitimate next-gen experiences. Horizon, Spider-Man, God of War, Final Fantasy, Astro Bot, Helldivers 2, Demon's Souls, Stellar Blade. All that stuff looks like a real generational leap. The Switch 2, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, Kirby DLC, cute and fun. Absolutely holiday system seller for a mass market against a $400 PS5 bundles, not even close. And here's where it gets hilarious. The very influencers who swore the $80 games didn't matter a week ago are now pretending they didn't spend 6 months bragging about how unstoppable the Switch 2 was going to be. They are scrambling, shaking, sweating, writing novels in comment sections like, actually, this proves Nintendo is healthy because discount drives adoption. Really? Because I distinctly remember them preaching the gospel of Nintendo never needs discounts ever. That's why the whole flex Sony weak Nintendo strong. Then Sony dropped deals that were actually good for consumers and Nintendo didn't, and the market reacted exactly how any sane adult would. Retailers didn't panic drop the PS5, they didn't go, oh crap, nobody wants this thing. They did normal holiday sales. There's a massive difference between a strategic sale and a reactionary emergency price cut. The Switch 2 was discounted because it had to be to spark movement. That's the kind of thing that should happen in year 3, not in month 6. That's a sign that reality didn't match expectations, and trust me, those retailers will remember this. They will be much more cautious next year when placing orders. And speaking of cautious buyers, consumers finally woke up to Nintendo's inflation games. They're tired of paying next-gen prices for previous-gen horsepower. You can't charge $500+ for a console and then hand people a Mario Party with the same graphic fidelity as the Wii U era. Okay, I'm over exaggerating. You can't go, please give us $80 for Kirby, and not expect people to laugh. Meanwhile, Sony is out here saying, hey, you want the powerhouse console with blockbuster games for less than the cost of a Switch 2? Sure. Here's a Fortnite bundle for $400, done, easy choice. It's like Nintendo forgot what competition looks like. Nintendo thought they were untouchable. They thought demand would be infinite. They thought families would swallow these prices without blinking. Instead, families did something shocking. They did math. They looked at performance per dollar. They looked at a library per dollar. They looked at holiday deals per dollar, and the PS5 won every single category except cute mascot appeal. That's what happens when you try to normalize overpriced software. It backfires once better value appears just one aisle over. Nintendo could have owned this holiday season had they launched a killer brand new unmistakable game. This entire situation would be different, but Mario Kart again. Donkey Kong, overpriced. Kirby DLC, overpriced. Nostalgia can only carry you so far before even kids start asking, didn't we already play this? A next-gen console needs a next-gen urgency. It needs a launch lineup that screams buy this now. Nothing on the Switch 2 screams that. And that's why the influencers are so terrified right now, because the narrative they built that Nintendo's hype is strong, but it's cracking. Their defense force is panicking because they know if consumers push back, they might keep pushing back in February and next summer and maybe forever. If Nintendo can't rely on blind loyalty anymore, they might actually have to compete. They might have to lower the price. They might have to justify the value again instead of assuming it. And I have a strange feeling one of the biggest reasons why that the influencers don't really care about the price being lowered is they get commissions, I think, on affiliate links, and the lower the price, the less of the cut they get. I don't want Nintendo to collapse. I want them to get better. And you don't get better if everyone constantly says you're perfect. You grow when competition punches you in the mouth and you realize you're not a god. If Nintendo learns the value of value again, this entire moment becomes a victory for gamers. But until then, we're going to keep seeing situations like this where the brand new console gets smoked by the older consoles because one company respects consumers and the other expected consumers to worship them. Black Friday sent the message loud and clear: the hype machine alone won't save Nintendo anymore. $80 games won't slide by unnoticed, a mediocre launch lineup won't carry you forever, and if December isn't better, that $50 discount might become permanent. And if that happens, the meltdown from the fanboys will be the most entertaining thing on YouTube all year. So yeah, if you're wondering why the PS5 dominated, it's because Sony gave the best deal and Nintendo gave the biggest bill. And that's all this really comes down to. People want value. They want fair pricing. They want something that feels worth it. Sony delivered that. Nintendo didn't. And gamers responded loud enough that even the fanboys can't hide from the obvious truth, no matter how many paragraphs of code they type. And we're just getting started. Because if you think this $80 game situation stops with Mario Kart World, Mario Party, Jamboree, Kirby, and Tears of the Kingdom, then you're in for a rude awakening, because we all know where this is headed. Next year is already obvious. Super Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition, that thing is going to be $80 without hesitation. They're going to slap a fresh coat of paint on it, add some Switch 2 features, a little bit of DLC, maybe bump the resolution a bit, and suddenly we're staring at the same game with a $20 price hike and a corporate grin behind it. And don't think for a second they're stopping there. Nintendo will absolutely shove a few more enhanced re-releases into that calendar just to fill up space and milk the price normalization game even harder. It's a strategy, a slow drip, a psychological conditioning experiment. They start with 4 $80 titles, fans argue for them, influencers defend them, then boom, suddenly $80 feels normal by the time the next wave hits. You'll already be used to it, and that's the whole point. But it's not just the $80 games we need to talk about, it's the $70 games too. Even Sony, the company everyone said was pushing the limits of price hikes before, didn't even dare to try to sell Astro Bot at $70. And that's a game built to show off the next-gen hardware with a massive budget, animation polish, and marketing push backed by the entire PlayStation brain trust. Sony of all companies said, you know what, Astro Bot is a $60 game. Meanwhile, Nintendo is out here confidently slapping 70 on literally anything with a mushroom on the box. Not every game they make is premium tier. Not every game deserves that price bracket. Some games belong in the $50–$60 range and nobody with common sense would argue otherwise. Take Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment for example, great game, I loved it, easily one of the best warrior games I've ever played, but it's still a spin-off of a niche genre. Warrior games are not mainstream juggernauts in 2025, they are fun side projects, they don't have the universal appeal or production weight to justify a premium $70 tag. That should have launched at $60 flat, end of story. Then we have Kirby Air Riders. Kirby is not the character to carry premium pricing. Kirby games have always been mid-tier exclusives. They're comfort food for gaming. But suddenly Nintendo wants to convince parents that the Marshmallow Puffball is worth the same AAA price as Sony's tentpole action blockbusters or Nintendo's mega franchises like the Pokemon games or Mario or Zelda, come on. And then there's Pokemon Legends Z8. I've said this before and I'll say it again louder. That game didn't have a price problem, it had a quality problem. That was an acid flip, rush shovelware reskin wearing a fancy wig and charging a cover fee like it was a VIP experience. No ambition, no evolution, just minimal effort wrapped into marketing hype. The fact they try to position that as a $70 tier experience is comedy. And next year, we already know Yoshi's new game is coming. I love Yoshi, I grew up with Yoshi. But let's be real, for 5 seconds, Yoshi isn't a $70 character either. Yoshi's games are charming platformers with cute art and lightweight mechanics. That is not a premium pricing territory, but the influencers will be right there waiting to defend it like loyal watchdogs. No guys, $70 is fair, it's worth it, it's the standard. You don't understand. Yeah, we do understand. We understand these people have been conditioned to swallow bad pricing and then sell it to others with a smile. Nintendo keeps testing the boundaries further and further, and the saddest part is that their biggest fans are the ones paving the road for them, cheering while they're being pickpocketed. This is why I keep saying Nintendo needs a reality check. They need to be humbled, because when a company stops earning its premium status and just demands it anyway, something is broken. Nintendo has reached that point. They're acting like every single game they spit out is an S-tier masterpiece deserving of top market value, when in reality, some are A-tier, some are B-tier, some are straight up shovelware. And price should reflect that. But instead of being honest, Nintendo was playing this one price fits all game, pretending their entire lineup belongs on Mount Olympus. Meanwhile, consumers are out here doing the math and realizing they're being charged luxury prices for everyday products. I really do hope Nintendo wakes up by next year, that they see this pushback, that they see the retail panic discount, that they see how fast PS5 cleared shelves when price and value lined up perfectly. I hope someone inside those boardrooms is screaming, guys, people are noticing. Because if they don't change, if they keep acting invincible, ignoring common sense, then this problem is only going to get worse. And I wish I could say I have confidence that they'll learn the lesson, I really do. But let's be honest with ourselves, Nintendo is stubborn. The success of the Switch turned them from humble innovators into arrogant gatekeepers of nostalgia. And I had a feeling that even after this Black Friday slap to the face, they're still going to convince themselves they're right, and that the gamers will eventually just accept whatever price tag they're given. But not everyone is rolling over anymore. And that's it for the video. If you truly enjoyed it, do me a favor and hit the like button, hit the hype button, share it around, and make sure you're subscribed. I post a long video every day, and I also go live Monday morning at 5 a.m. Pacific time, where I react to the saltiest fanboys around. And also, make sure you subscribe, because I'm really trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really need your help. If you really want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. It's only $1 a month. You'll get special badges, custom emotes, and of course your name shouted at the end of every video. And once that list gets too long, don't worry, I will turn it into a full-on credit roll so everybody gets their chance to shine. Also, don't forget to check out the merch if you want to rep the Vigilante Fire. And as always, until next time guys, stay vigilant. And now it's time to read off the members of the channel. We got Chorus Objective, Maximilian Pegasus 88, Matt Fox 94, Lore, Evil Rolio, Oh No is Justin, Naria, Camero, C-Stars Piplup, J Wesby 65, Geezer Noob, Dustin 360, That PlayStation Gamer, Steven Rammy, Matthew Buckley, Johnny Bones Drones, Trigger is Groot, Ari Kawas, Blue Moon, Kasaria, Vetful Zexel, A1K300, Kawabi and Asaria, Pokefan, Starlight Mirror, Crystal Woe, Kyria Lunar, Brandon Alex, Mr. Crab, Backedge, Nightfall Hero Academy, Vagabard, Switch Addiction, Kiwi Kalaria, Yep That Was Me, Jake Spider Monkey, Dave C, Thomas Ember Breath, Bazaar, The Fat Man, Dylan Haltiling, Matthew, Cenas, James The, Anon Bowie, UBX9563, Charlotte Jackson, Farmer Jim LR, and Spectre. Thank you so much for becoming part of the crew.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hard.